What's up, everyone? Welcome to Play by Play Tech, episode 14. I'm your host, Max Chambliss, alongside Moandogg
What's
Gaming,
happening?
or Moan.
No special introduction this time, or what?
No, not today. Not today. I just go ahead and just keep it just regular this episode. So, what's going on with you? What games you been playing?
You know what? Funny that you say, and you said this was going to happen the moment I started playing this game, but I'm starting to get a little bit of the Destiny fever back, and I'm trying to level up my character before the new download content comes out. So I got that whole feed going on, and I also started playing Outer Worlds. It's like the copycat of Fallout and all the other stuff. It's actually pretty good. They're supposed to have a new DLC coming out. I believe it's for the next gen consoles. Matter of fact, yeah, it's going to be on Game Pass, and you get it for free, just like you would the Destiny. So I'm looking forward to that. It's fun. I kind of missed the whole Fallout thing. I think Outer Worlds, Fallout is a titan. Don't get me wrong, and I still favor Fallout over that. But right now, Outer Worlds is doing it right over Fallout 76. So I can play Outer Worlds right now, even though it's just one player. Fallout 76 is multiplayer. It just doesn't grab my attention like it used to. What you playing, Max?
You know what? I'm still playing Marvel Avengers. I play it off and on. No, I still enjoy the game. I get that people are like tired of the Avengers game. But I like I said, I really like it. It just now I kind of wish they have more missions or different missions instead of the repetitive play like how Destiny was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still in its infancy right now, so it's kind of like I still like it. I still give it. I give it an 8 out of 10 just because it's just like I love Marvel. I love the games and stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's still got some bugs in it, but I could say with the studio right now, they constantly bring out updates to make it better. So yeah, that's the game that I'm playing right now and stuff.
Is it just Avengers that you're playing, or you got a lineup?
Other lineup as in like what other games?
Yeah.
No, that's the only game I'm playing right now. I did have my Xbox One X, but I ended up trading that in kind of early last week at Best Buy.
Early pricing.
yeah, I traded that in. That's a good question because I was going to ask everyone to see if they start trading in their systems because I got that pre-order for the Xbox Series X, and I just like I said, the crazy part is like I haven't been playing games that much, and I'm just ready for the next gen console. So that's why I just decided to just go ahead and just trade that bad boy in, and you know what, call it a day and just wait for the new systems to come out.
You know what's funny about that? I got that same feeling. It's like I don't want to play the consoles I got anymore. It's like I'm just ready for the next stuff, and I do it every time a new console comes out. I'll be ready to I'm just ready for it, and my old games is not interested in me anymore. What I have been looking up, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but I've been looking up to see if Final Fantasy VII Remake will be ported over to the new console, new PlayStation, and it doesn't seem like Square Enix is going to do it. They're just going to push forward with Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's kind of too because I think we talked about this. Yeah, I was going to trade in both my Xbox One X and my PlayStation 4 Pro, but I'm hesitant to trade the PlayStation in because I don't know what the backwards compatible games is going to be on the PlayStation 5, and I'm nervous about it. Sony still they haven't announced anything yet, and I know they said that the PlayStation 4 is going to be backward compatible with the PlayStation 5, but they really wasn't. They're still not transparent as in like what games or if it's going to be all the games. Is it going to be 100? And it's like they keep changing their minds all the time. Is really frustrating because I don't know what games are going to be backwards compatible. So it's kind of like, okay, I know that God of War, Uncharted, and those games, but I'm talking about, okay, what about just like what you said, Final Fantasy VII remake. I don't know that's going to be backwards compatible. Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know that's going to be backwards compatible. Last of Us Part 2. I don't know that's going to be backwards compatible. It's like those are the games that, you know, I have on my PlayStation. I haven't had a chance to really play. And it's just kind of like, would I be okay with the PlayStation 5 and playing those backwards compatible games? And then there's the other issue too, is that you know what, Mo, I just thought about this. We was, the funny thing was we was talking about topics, and it seemed like it always happens. We never really come to topics, but then once we start talking and going live, it's like all this stuff that started coming through my head. You know, PlayStation is having some issues where your games on your PlayStation 4 saves won't transfer over to the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's kind of like,
what's the point of the? And I don't mean to interrupt you, man, because it irritates my soul. What's the point of having the cloud save if you can't? Because eventually, once we get in the middle of the PlayStation 5 console cycle, like about 3.5, 4 years down the line, what's going to happen with all our cloud saves back then? Are they just going to get, because they're not going to just let the server sit there if they're not going to port it over to the newer systems? Like, what's the point of it? What's the point of having that if you can't use it? Cloud save is the whole purpose of, you know, if you buy a new system, you can sign in, all your stuff is saved on it there. Or if a new game comes out, then it reads that you have it, and you can start at the level you were at the last game on game 2 and all that stuff. So I don't know, what's the point of it? Just so you don't lose your data? But I'm talking about, it makes sense for PlayStation 5, but what's the point of having it for PlayStation 4 if you're not going to port all your saved data to PlayStation 5?
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of like my concern. I mean, look, for Spider-Man, the remastered version, I could see that. But if I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake,
it has to port at some time, right? Because they're coming with a part 2.
And those are my concerns. It's kind of like I think I told you this before. I started playing Final Fantasy but then I only played like 30 minutes of it. And I know people are probably gonna say, "Well, why you didn't play more?"
Oh, you didn't.
The reason why I didn't want to play more,
scratch the surface of that game.
Well, no, I know I didn't scratch the surface of it, but that I want to play that game on the 5. But now it's kind of like, I don't know if that game is going to be backwards compatible with the PlayStation 5. And then it's like the other issue is that the saves. It's like, I don't want to start a progress on Final Fantasy 7 and I would have to just redo it again on the PlayStation 5. It's like I'll get frustrated over. It's like the same thing for Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima. It's like, I don't want to start those games knowing that I'm going to have to redo it again. I mean, some people are just like, oh, it's no biggie and stuff like that. But it's like, I really don't have the luxury and time of replaying those boards again. So that's why I'm just like,
I think a smart decision for them at this point, if they want to utilize this so-called PlayStation Plus collection, throw it on there. Throw it on there so people can play it on the PlayStation 5. But, I mean, what's the difference? You know, if you got the game, you should just automatically have it for the 5 anyway. So that's the only thing I can think of. It makes no sense to, if you know that the next series of that game is coming out, why not port it to PlayStation 5 so people can play it?
Yeah. So those been concerned trading my PlayStation yet. It's just because Sony still haven't give us any type of news. And it's like, what is it? October is October 6th, and the console is supposed to be launching this month. You know, it's like we have a month and month and 6 days.
30, 37, 39 days left before they all come out. If that.
Yeah. It just I don't, it's kind of crazy that PlayStation, Sony specifically, is not straightforward when it comes to transparency about the consoles. And it's like, I know we had some leak images or leak videos of showing, but it's I just don't know why they just don't want to start just showing everything right now. And that's where I'm kind of like saying to myself, like, what's going on? But hey,
I think that's where the cocky factor comes in, right? Because throughout the generation, I've been hearing, especially with the battle with crossplay, and why they won't open up their ecosystem to crossplay with everybody else. And their staff is always saying, we have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million people that's online every day. And we don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. So, and I think it plays a role in this factor. Oh, we got our loyal customers. They'll be back. I don't need to do this news and do that and show this and show that. We'll get them anyway. Now, guarantee they will get service from me and you, Max, whether they show stuff or not, because we're going to buy the crap anyway. So, I mean, they make a valid point in a sense, but you know, what about people that could change their mind where it's like, man, I'm tired of this. I can't do this. No, I'm going to Xbox, you know, so, but I mean, but they have a point again. Like I said, it's just, it's a very irritating point.
Yeah, but the thing is that Sony is kind of cocky when it comes to that, because PlayStation 4. It's just the thing is that you're going to get consumers that is really going to start to burn consumers by acting like that. And I think it's going to get to a point, and it's going to go to Xbox favor, is because Xbox is very transparent. They say, hey, we got backwards compatible and stuff like that. You know, we're doing the best we can to have those backwards compatible games go up to, you know, updated refresh rate, do 60 frames per second on certain games, depending on the video game. If it's not locked, better resolution, you know, HDR. I mean, those are the transparencies that I salute Microsoft on. Is because at least they tell us up front, like, hey, you know what? I get it. We was going to have Halo, but fortunately, you know, like the studio's not ready for it to release it. But this is what we could do in the meantime. This is what show you play on day one. And this is kind of like what I like how Microsoft is going forward, because now they started to release their console. Well, not release their console. They starting to give YouTubers or influencers, you know, their demo unit of the Xbox, you know, actually play it and stuff. Play these backwards compatible games and let us know what you guys think of it. And so far, I think IGN, your average consumer, Digital Foundry, GameStop, some other YouTubers I can't think of at the top of my head. Not GameStop, but GameSpot. At the top of my what they could show, what the Xbox Series X can actually do. And so far, that was the reason why I traded in my Xbox. It's just these backwards compatible games load up compared to the Xbox One X. I'm talking about the Xbox One X. It was like night and day. It was like a couple of seconds. And that's why I was like, I don't even want to play. I don't even want to play the Xbox One X anymore, because it's just load up on these games. This smart resume, and it was just really like I'm just ready.
Yeah, that is
what was
really
that?
The smart resume feature on the Xbox is really been amazing. Just watching them, and every single person that has reviewed that has had positive comments on it, and they've all done the whole set the two screen up and see which one is faster than the other. Of course, we expect the Series X to be faster, but just to see it in real time when they were switching from what was a huge game, from Grand Theft Auto to Final Fantasy 15 to Red Dead Redemption 2, games that took 2, 3, 4 minutes for you to be on the loading screen were taking 39 seconds. I mean, it was just amazing. I like it. I don't know how often I'm gonna use quick resume. You know, I don't know how it's gonna work when you put your Xbox in rest mode. I think some of them showed it. I guess I haven't seen it in full detail, but just to be able to switch between, and at first they were only saying 5 games. It's up to 12 games now. You can have 12 games suspended, and switching it between within seconds. And I mean, it just makes it more enjoyable, more playable. It's like you don't miss a beat. And they freeze. They use the cell phone feature. So, because you know our cell phones, you put in lock mode, and as soon as you open it up, you're back in the game without missing any content. So, I mean, thank you Google and Apple for creating this this new technology where you can do that, because back then that was unheard of.
Yeah, and this is where I kind of want to make sure that whoever's watching our podcast right now just kind of like understand when you with this feature that when you switch between games or understand it's like it's really lightning fast. It's like second. So, and I just know that when I was playing the Xbox Pro, when I'm loading like GTA 5 or Call of Duty or something like that, I'm just naming the games at the top of Spider-Man. I was getting so irritated of the lows. I'm getting irritated. Back then, it's like I really paid no mind to it at the time, but it's like now it got to a point that even Marvel Avengers that I play on the PlayStation, the load times on there is just I was getting so frustrated because it's like I just want a quick match or a quick game, and it's like I had to wait minutes just for the game to load up. And understand that I really don't have the luxury of time just like to play games all day. It's like if you really calculate that, that adds up a lot of time, and that's what people have to realize. It's kind of like I want and start the game. I wanted to start immediately. I don't want to sit there with just a load screen like that. I mean, granted, it doesn't do like loading that, but it's just like those are the things that I just can't wait for the next generation, especially with PlayStation 5, with their SSD and Xbox, where they're using their Velocity architecture with their whole SSD quick resume, and when it comes to switching games, it's just I just can't wait for the new consoles to come out.
So we got a comment. So Steve is asking, yeah, I throw that game away. What game are you talking about?
Oh, we was talking about. Oh well, I'm just talking about. I mean, any games that are heavy on graphics that when you go to a new scene or something like that, or you're trying to load a mission, it takes forever. Like if you play GTA 5 online and you're trying to play a match with your buddies, it takes minutes. It takes 3, 4, 5 minutes just to load up a match and stuff. It takes forever. But looking at some of these YouTubers, I gotta stop saying YouTubers, influencers who posted on YouTube, because I'm a YouTube and stuff like that. When I look at their videos and capabilities of it, when they were switching from Red Dead Redemption, it took like I didn't even think about it. It took literally over 3 minutes just for it to load its game. When you playing on the Xbox One X. And on the Xbox Series X, I think it took under a minute.
Yeah.
And that game, as in graphics wise, is crazy good. And so for it to go ahead and start the game that fast, and then switching, and they was showing like Halo, fast was Halo. It's just like that's gonna mean that's a game changer. That's where I'm coming from. When you're going and switching from games, or even trying to play your game, even Gears 5 took me forever just to load the game.
Oh,
and so
man,
it literally took minutes. Yeah, but it was just like, but they showed it on the Xbox Series, and it literally took seconds. And that's why I think that that's what people really taking that for granted. That's where people see that's a very underrated feature that people really don't realize how great of a feature that is. That Xbox and PlayStation are doing is the load time. And it's like I'm so tired of load times right now and stuff. And me seeing that on the videos that people were posting and stuff. That's why I went ahead and just traded in. I just couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with my PlayStation. I can't really stand it because I'm playing Marvel Avengers and I want to play a match, and I'm going on a war table, and I say, oh yeah, let me just play a match right now. And I'm just looking at a loading screen. It just like it takes the fun out of it. Play this game.
Yeah, especially when you playing a game that's very repetitive, it does take the fun out of it. Because don't get me wrong, just about all games are repetitive in some shape or form, but they all have their unique ways to keep you attracted to it, or keep you hyped up about it. But when you playing a game like Destiny and they have a long loading time, you're gonna get irritated with that
Oh
game.
my god! And like I said, you're stuck in fight mode and going from one world to another.
Yeah,
People I mean, like I said, Xbox and PlayStation, you're gonna see a world of difference with these next consoles, and they were showing that one person that showed on YouTube, they was showing like the actual load time on Destiny 2 when it was going from planet to planet. It took seconds for it to load. Mm-hmm. But if we was playing it right now, like if we was playing on Xbox or Xbox One for PlayStation 4, not even PlayStation 4 Pro, it took forever. It took like minutes. It took like literally minutes. And you're like, oh yeah, play a mission right quick. Let me go ahead and play a mission right quick.
Yeah.
And it took forever. And that's where people really have to realize how awesome these new consoles are going to be. I mean, the time it takes for you to load a game is going to be a matter of seconds. And that's where I know I keep saying this over and over. That is like the most underutilized feature that people don't really understand. People are talking about, well, the graphics are not that much difference and stuff like that. I really don't care about us. I really care about the graphics. No, you really going to appreciate how fast these games are going to load. Really gonna really appreciate that.
And then you guys, the console guys is out there, be happy, because right now the PCs cannot do the new loading speeds that the console SSDs can do. But don't get me wrong, it's not gonna be like that for long. I'm telling you, I believe within the next month or so, there's gonna be PCs that's gonna just whoop on the SSDs.
Well,
but the reason why they are able to do that, because it's proprietary to their console system. When you have PCs, all parts are universal, so they have to come up with something that's going to work universally.
Well, Samsung already came. They came 980. I forgot the name of 980 Pro or something like that. It said it's supposed to compete. It says it's supposed to compete with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Don't quote me on that.
Well, whatever it is, right now the console has to lead.
But Samsung's supposed to have something like that.
Yeah, PlayStation's supposed to have the fastest SSD, and they showed that one little demo where it loaded Spider-Man in like 1 second or 2 seconds or something like that. So, I'm ready to see that. I don't know why they haven't even marketed that. At least now, they could have just showed that. They didn't have to show the UI and what it looks like and everything else. All I gotta say is that for folks that like me who has an SSD right now, because I have 2 NVMe's in my laptop, and it loads my games pretty fast, but it doesn't load them right now as fast as consoles. Now, if you want to get up into the
the next generation consoles. Don't say like the current. Don't say the current consoles. The next generation.
Yeah, the next generation consoles. They're still a little bit faster than an NVMe SSD, but if you get to one of those fat SSDs like the Intel versions that plugs right into I think a 4X or a 16X slot, those are pretty fast, but they are expensive. I think a 1 terabyte is like $1,000 or something like that. If you want to really get there, expensive. But once they start making those things cost affordable, where you can put those in the PC, then I mean it's going to be no challenge. It's no challenge now, especially performance wise. But once the manufacturers come out with the new SSDs, that's it. And if you say Samsung has one out right now, I'm pretty sure it's expensive.
Yeah, I think it's coming out. Excuse me. I think it's coming out soon. I know they have that out, but it's not as fast as like the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. But I think the 980 is out, or it may be coming out this month or next, or towards the end of the year. Yeah. And they was claiming that the speeds are supposed to be really fast, comparable. Well, they're not gonna say it's comparable with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, but people who are saying that it's as fast as them, or if not faster. But I'm not, like I said, don't quote me on that. I'm just going off of rumors and stuff, and that's why. But just to hear that and just to let you guys know by looking at these videos they posting about their first impression of the Xbox Series X. I am like so excited about the next consoles that's coming out. I mean, I'm literally
we're what 30 how many days? 35 maybe days away before
we're in a month. I mean, we're just really at the finish line of these next consoles out next month, and I am like so excited about these next generation consoles because like after I saw those videos are loading, because people are talking about, well, I don't see no next gen games and blah blah blah.
You're not going to see graphics. You're not going to see graphics. You might just put that down. You'll see visual improvements. You'll see the butter smoothness of the new frame rates. But we're at the point now to where it can't get as real as it gets right now until they come out with something with quantum computing that makes it look like us right now. I'm just spitting stuff out of my behind. But you're going to see a lot of ray tracing, which makes it look more real. With the lighting system they got. You're going to see a lot of particle effects that's going to be next level, next gen. The new PlayStation, was it PlayStation that demonstrated the new triangle technology that makes everything look more realism, where they had the girl flying through the mountains and all this stuff that they were showing?
Yeah, that was off of Unreal.
Yeah. And that's going to be the company who leads the way. Unreal is going to lead the way. If it's not Unreal, Crytek has a really good graphics engine too. But
the issue with Crytek is on the GPU is it doesn't do as much of a beating when it comes to their GPU and CPUs and stuff like that. So I think that was like one of the biggest issues with Crytek and stuff, because it's like if you put in Crysis, one of those Crysis games, even now if you put version of it, NVIDIA was getting their ass handed to them. If you put on every ultra settings on there, and they were showing some demonstrations on it. Don't get me wrong, it still looked good, but it's crazy. Even today, that game been out how many years?
About 10 at least 10, because they came out with 2 or 3.
To 10 years, and it's still kicking ass when it comes to their GPU. Like really utilizing information from the GPUs and CPU, and that's where I'm just like, ugh.
So we got a couple questions. So Steve Tomiko's asking, what resolutions are they going to be at 60 frames per second? So the new consoles are targeting 4K 60. His next question was, and will there be options for newer 120 hertz televisions? So marketing of this year, you didn't watch our past episodes, but we touched on it, but I'll refresh it. Marketing this year for some TVs are stating that it is 120 hertz 4K TVs. The issue is that they're still HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort 1.4, I believe. And the display, are they still saying 2.1? Just not the gigabits, right? Gigabytes.
No, so okay. Yeah, so let's take a step back. All right. So what was the question? I'm gonna make sure I'm.
The question is, what resolutions are they going to be at 60 frames per second? So he's referring to the consoles.
So I think it depends on what game and the developer.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Okay, so let's go to Xbox. So for Halo Infinite, they did write an article saying for the multiplayer game, they are going to hit 120 frames per second with the multiplayer. I don't know about the campaign. I'm assuming that the campaign is going to be 120 frames per second, but I'm assuming. I'm not saying that it is, but they said that the multiplayer is supposed to be 120 frames per second. Spider-Man Miles Morales is supposed to be coming out. That is going to be running at 60 frames. 60 frame at 4K. 4K. No.
Well, the battle right now, I thought was.
I'm going to give you misinformation, but it's going to be running 4K 30 or 4K 60.
But remember, the battle that they were saying is that, because remember, we were irritated about it, that they were going to upscale it, and we thought that was stupid.
Well, this is where the issue is at, and Sony haven't said about it. They said it's going to be saying Spider-Man because and this is kind of like the topic I want to know. On the Spider-Man remaster version, they showed an image of ray tracing Spider-Man remastered. And I think it was at 4K, but I don't know if it was at 30 frames per second, or was it at 60 frames per second. But they showed a image showing Spider-Man on the reflect building, and it showed that the ray tracing resolution was great. And this is come to it. And I want to have it, whoever's watching this right now, go to Digital Foundry. They did a phenomenal video of Spider-Man remastered on that specific image and showing that like how the ray tracing was working on PlayStation 5, and it was showing that it was good. They say it was good, but they're saying it was good for just a PS5. And they're saying it was equivalent to the NVIDIA 2060 graphics card. So they were showing the examples of, and they're saying like for Spider-Man specific, it may run at 4K or it may run at dynamic 4K. They don't know specifically by the trailer, but they're saying like the ray tracing that they have on is like low to medium. So that was like the performance that they gather from that trailer. Also, too, they showed the trailer of the performance mode off of Spider-Man, but they didn't say it was going to be frames per second, which I kind of doubt it's going to be 120 frames per second.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
no.
I think it's going to be like 1440p at 60 frames per second, and it's going to output. You're not going to tell it. You're not really going to. TV it is going to show 4K, but it's going to show at a higher frames per second.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, so going back to your question, much where.
So the question was, what resolution are they going to be at 60? So like I said, the consoles are targeting 60 frames at 4K. That's the selling point right now. But they can do up to 120 frames per second through HDMI 2.1. But like Max said, and Steve, he's a computer guy, he knows when you have to change your graphical settings to reach those frame rates, a lot of you're going to get a lot of that maybe at the first party level of games. So, console exclusives are the ones you're going to expect to do that. And there are going to be some aftermarket guys, or third party, should I say, that's going to do that, but they have to be universal because it's going to be the same game across the platform.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the developer and
yeah.
Part it from looking at it and look at, if you type in on YouTube that they did a very, very detailed analysis on it, but pretty much the gist of this is going to PlayStation 5. I'm not talking about Xbox Series. On the PlayStation 5, there's going to be some positives and negatives. It depends on how you take it. It will be able to do 4K at 4K resolution with a little bit of ray tracing, but it all depends on the demand on you, the GPU and CPU when it comes to their system. And there's going to be a give and take. Either people are going to go for the performance mode, or they're going to go for. Me personally, I go for the performance mode. I think it looks better and plays better with the performance mode. But getting to the point about the PlayStation 5, I don't think it's going to produce 4K 60 on a lot of games. I think that's really going to push the hardware.
It's hard for us to determine, right? Because we still don't have any information on RDNA 2 technology. So we don't know how they're going to achieve that, with certain games and all that stuff. We'll know actually this week in a couple days.
Well, but the PlayStation 5. Xbox Series X has the RDNA 2 from AMD. They have the newest on their PlayStation 5 doesn't. It's supposed to be like a hybrid between RDNA 1 and RDNA 2. So what I'm saying garbage. Is that I'm saying is that I think maybe struggling. And there was rumors that they're going to be coming out, and this is pure speculation, pure rumor and stuff, but Sony did a patent saying that that they're going to with another console. I don't know if it's
both
going to
of
be
them
2,
said they're going to
3.
have mid-tier
Yeah,
consoles within the next 3.5
yeah,
because that's their usual routing from going off the old numbers. Now with the TVs,
yeah.
there are TVs out there that's claiming 4K at 120 with HDMI 2.1, but the issue is that it's only 40 gigabytes running through the from output input to output. Uh,
And that's
this
LG.
year,
That's LG.
that's
That's
right. That's
LG
LG.
specifically.
So
But
this year,
Vizio got HDMI 2 full bandwidth and stuff.
okay.
So Vizio has it, but um, this is kind of like the issue I have with the HDMI 2.1. And I'm telling people to wait and not get the new TVs this year is because
No,
they
don't get a
are
new
in their
TV next
first
year.
infancy. Yeah, they're on their
Mhm.
first infancy of HDMI 2.1. I just don't want to be a beta tester and spend that much money to
Yeah,
find
on
out
a
there's
TV
some.
that I'm stuck with for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, and I don't want to be stuck with certain things that it's not going to be that the consoles or even the PCs can do that the TVs won't be able to do with this generation. I'm saying to wait next year because they're going to be coming out with more TVs that's going to have HDMI 2.0
And it's going to have
2.1.
the full bandwidth.
Yeah, the
Getting
full
that full
bandwidth.
spec out of that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so that's where I'm just letting people know because like right now, LG have HDMI, but here's the thing is NVIDIA just came out with a new graphics cards at 30 series. LG is having issues displaying the 120 frames per second on connected to the PCs for the NVIDIA graphics card. They saying that they're coming out with a firmware update, but that's just telling you right then and there that they're not their HDMI 2.1 is having some issues. And
Correct.
so that's why I am letting people know that hey, I think you guys should wait out until next year when they get everything ironed out because you go on you at the mercy of these are saying, hey, we're gonna come out with a firmware update. We're gonna come out with a firmware update. Yeah, they could come out with a firmware update, but then they may break something else, and then you kind of stuck with the TV and you
Yeah. And it
spend
ain't like
thousands and
you can
thousands of
trade it
dollars.
back in like you do a console and get
Yeah,
something from it. So when you buy a TV, that's why, I tell everybody when those new TVs come out like that, do not buy it straight up front. Like I
yeah,
know people that went out there and just impulse buy the 8K TVs. Now you done bought that TV and there is no 8K content unless you use your phone and record something and put it on the TV because phones can do the 8K with 30, 8K 30 or 8K 60 or whatever. But that's
yeah.
all you got right now. Netflix don't even do 8K
We don't
video
even have the
streaming.
internet bandwidth to even do
No,
that. We don't even
no,
have. You don't even have Blu-ray disc that has 8K.
no,
Uh, Test it. It's YouTube. And stuff. So that's something to really think about too. And even with the TVs that's supposed to be 8K, they're not really 8K
no.
TV. So it's kind of like, yeah, I understand you want to be the person to say, oh yeah, I have an 8K TV, but it's just like when 4K came out or and HDR came out, everybody said like, okay, I have 8K TV, but the inputs or like the HDMI back then doesn't even support the bandwidth to display 4K. You had to use the internal app on the TV to display 4K, and people didn't like that. So it's just
Yeah.
like, just wait, just wait until it start to get momentum.
And let's get one
And
thing straight about HDR. If your TV does not display at 1,000 nits, you are not getting true HDR. I hope y'all hear me with this. So you may have I have a monitor that's HDR ready, but it's not at 1,000 nits. I think it's at 400, which is good, but it's not true HDR. But you got all these TVs, you pay all these cheap prices for something you saw on sale at Target and this and that, and it says HDR, and you'll see the difference if you were to buy one of Vizio's, I think their Quantum line and some of their LCD lines, where they have 1,000 nits. Some are even 2,000 and 3,000.
yeah,
And compare that to so you done paid Vizio maybe $800 to get that kind of technology, and then you bought this TV for 4,000. Well, let's just say
yeah,
2,000, and it's not 1,000 nits, and you put them together, you see you're gonna be pretty upset. So I
yeah,
just want to make that thing clear. If it's not 1,000 nits, you're not getting HDR, whether the TV says it or not. You're getting some form of it. Like when it first came out, it was probably at 700
And that's
nits.
kind of like the issue too. There's no standard when it comes to HDR. People just slap on HDR just to say like the TV or the monitor is HDR. And even with the monitors, like Windows does a terrible job doing HDR. I had to disable my Samsung G7 HDR because it
It
showed
looks horrible.
well, yeah, it looks horrible, and then was just so the monitor will get brighter, and it's just like Windows does a terrible job with their HDR HDR implementation, and nobody doesn't know when they're going to fix that and stuff. So when that's going to get updated, so it's I'm just saying, just wait. If you have to get a TV right now, where you have to, then go ahead and get a TV, but just don't go ahead and have the expectation and stuff, and be the person and say, "Oh yeah, I bought me a 10. I got an HDMI 2.1." Yeah, you know what? They may fix it. LG may fix it, and they may have a firmware update. They may fix the issue with the NVIDIA 30 series card. But it's just the thing is that I don't want to. I don't want a TV and be at the mercy of a manufacturer promising me a firmware update. It's just like LG had their C9 that last year, and that's a full bandwidth HDMI 2.1. But LG would not do a firmware update to give them FreeSync capability.
Exactly.
They only gave them G-Sync, and it's just the thing is, and they SOL on that. And I hate when people are saying like, well, I have this HDMI, but then you got manufacturers who will pick and choose like, I don't want to support that TV anymore because it's an older generation. I just don't want people to get in that situation. By all means, it's your money. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm just saying, wait till next year, because it's going to be manufacturers are more than obligated to start doing that, adding HDMI 2.1 and stuff like that. And that's where I'm coming from. Even the new Sony TVs, Sony Z8H and the 900 series, they are getting firmware updates to do 4K 120. But the issue with that is that it's a firmware update.
You need the hardware.
Yeah, so that and that's kind of scary. And they did some firmware updates where it was updating the Android, and they totally messed up the eARC HDMI input that I have connected to my home audio, where I have audio dropouts when I switch between my external devices like a PlayStation 4 or Xbox back into my internal Android TV where the TV internal apps. I have major issues with that, and I complained about that. And I made a video about this, and people are having the same issue. It's just the thing is, I just see if a manufacturer promising a firmware update. That's my gripe.
A firmware update is not going to fix that they say it's going to display it at a higher resolution, higher frame rate. You need the hardware in there. You need the chipset. Yeah. What I think the objective is that it does some sort of software upscaling technology to make it look like it's at that refresh rate and at those frame rates. That's why when you see motion, 240, 260 in these TVs, it's a fake trick that they do on your eyes to make it look like it's at 240 hertz. And that's when you get that fake soap opera look when you're watching a movie on those huge TVs, but you're saying, man, this is 200 and some hertz. No, it's not. It's just, it makes it look good. And to me, it doesn't look good because it looks like I'm watching As the World Turns instead of Avengers. Yeah. So it just drives me crazy.
Yeah. So I'll say this: if you have an HD TV for the last 5 even 6 years, that most of the games that are going to be running at the highest 4K 60 and stuff like that.
And if you have,
you may have TV, a few. Yeah. If there are going to be a few that's going to be at 4K at 120 frames, but it's just the thing is those games, like I think Ori, Breath of the Wild, or whatever the Ori game is, I really don't. I'm not pressed to go out and buy a TV just to play that game Ori at 4K 120. Right. Now, if we're talking about Halo Infinite,
that's totally different.
That's a little bit of a different story. But Halo Infinite is not even coming out this year, so it's kind of like for me, I'm just doing it.
I
Even
am so mad.
Cyberpunk. Yeah, even Cyberpunk, which I'm really, really excited about.
You know what? I've been looking into that a little more too, man. I think I'm real interested in that game. I was kind of just at the time, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Once I saw that map earlier, the somebody captured a real life version of the map. It looked like you're going to be playing this game for a while,
dude. That's a sleeper. I've been telling you, Mona, about saw the. It's going to be awesome and stuff. I pre-order on the Xbox system, and I just can't wait to play it.
But that's not that's all systems, right? That's not a first party game.
No, it's all systems. It's PlayStation, Xbox. I thought about getting it for PC, but I wanted to play it on the Xbox because I want to play console and stuff. Yeah. But man, that's gonna be. It's an open world. Yeah, just think of GTA, but in pretty much it's GTA mixed with Ghost in the Shell mixed with I'm trying to think of another
a wasteland type of deal too at the same time. Right?
Yeah, it's like everything mixed. And then you got Keanu Reeves too, and stuff like that. It's like
Neo
can't go wrong with Keanu. Yeah, he's one of the best actors.
Mr. John Wick. Like let's hope he brings some of those John Wick moves inside the game.
That game is gonna be fun. That game is gonna. I don't care what anybody say, but Cyberpunk is gonna be one of the best games out this year. I'm gonna say out this year.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get delayed again. I see all the news about this.
It's not gonna be delayed. It already made the announcement that it's going to be coming out.
So what's the release date?
I don't know.
Max got to look it up.
I know it's November. I know it's November or something.
Well, that's good. So in November,
I think November 19th.
Okay, well that's good because that's going to be after the console releases. So that's good because I think it's November 19th, I believe.
No, PlayStation is coming out. The PlayStation 5 is coming out the 12th.
Rand said he need that game November something.
No, go ahead. Find that video on YouTube. That game looks phenomenal. Especially you get to pick 3 different factions and stuff like that, where you could do outer. Like I said, just watch the trailer, watch the gameplay trailer.
Let's see if I can find it.
That game is a sleeper. What was that?
I'm gonna see if I can find it and put it in the comments.
Yeah. Play like I said, watch the trailer. I guarantee you. At first, I was kind of like, but as I was like watching the trailer and watching it was just something that I knew right. This is going to be one of the best games out coming out this fall. And then also too, that's a good. You know what? That was kind of like another topic. Did you end up pre-ordering any games?
No, I haven't pre-ordered anything yet. I just kind of been sitting back, just waiting and watching. I think I'm going to do the Miles Morales for the PlayStation. Xbox. I'm not pre-ordering nothing for Xbox. It's going to come with Game Pass. So, I mean,
well, the funny thing is, I pre-ordered. So the games that Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I got the Ultimate Edition. I did that on the PlayStation Store, and I also pre-ordered Godfall. I got the Ascended copy and stuff, and I'm looking for. I know people are saying like, "Oh, Godfall." I like those type of action type RPG type games. I'm really into, so I'm really looking forward to that game. It looks good for on the video, and they show that doing hands-on with the PlayStation 5, and it was showing like the actual gameplay of it, and it looks really good. So I'm really excited about playing that game, and I'm on the fence. Oh yeah, and then I pre-ordered too Call of Duty.
I'm not. I played the beta. I don't like it.
You're not happy? Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I was like, I got it for the Xbox.
I'm waiting on Battlefield. Battlefield's supposed to come out with a game. Hopefully, it's modern. You know, I think it'd be a stupid move if it's not. So Battlefield's supposed to come out.
It's not coming out this year.
No. They haven't even shown trailers or anything.
I'm talking about I'm talking about Call of Duty, Cyberpunk. 2070.
You know what? Cyberpunk would be one I need to pre-order, and I think I'm gonna do that one for the Xbox.
Yeah.
And
then
do they have like bigger editions that you can get with that?
no, Cyberpunk is just that's one thing that I salute. As much game that you get in that game, get into that game itself, they only charging $59.99. If I'm going to Miles Morales, Spider-Man, if I'm getting the Ultimate Edition with Spider-Man Remastered, I'm paying $70 for that game, for a PlayStation 5 game. If you go to Call of Duty, depending on if you get on the Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 is $59. You get on the X, that's going for $70. It's like now all of a sudden all these games are starting to pop up $70 or more depending on what edition you. But Cyberpunk is sticking with the same price of $59.99, and that's why I want to support that company. That's why I love the that's doing, and that's why I think everybody should at least get their hands on Cyberpunk and play that game because it's that cheap.
Because I'm not in a rush to pre-order games because now you can just go on there and buy them digitally. It's kind of like, what the point? You could just download it the first day. Now, games I'm super interested in, like Final Fantasy, I did buy that way. I actually bought 2 of them. I bought the highest collection edition that they had, and I bought the digital copy so that I don't have to open that one. So later on down the line, I'll sell that bad boy for a lot of money.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. Did you so what about accessories?
I'm thinking about getting a memory card like you, Max, because it's
you paying that $220?
Yeah, I might as well. And I mean, I'm not going to pay for it. I got trade-ins and stuff where I can just, get the card or whatever.
Pay for that? Yeah. So you're gonna be.
But when you play Call of Duty, you might as well especially they're supposed to have an upgraded version of Warzone in there. So expect for you to get hit at least 250 gigs on there. And now, mind you, the console comes with 800. You know what I'm saying? So right there, that's the end of that. And I can only imagine what Cyberpunk is going to be, what Assassin's Creed Valhalla is going to be, what what's another huge game Spider-Man. If you get all that stuff on one console, those 3 games right there will probably fill it up. Depending on, especially you buy like collector's edition that come with a lot of extra content.
Call of Duty, it's gonna be.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. I don't know what Sony's plans are for still using the same speeds on external SSDs, or if they come out with a proprietary one like Microsoft. But Sony, you guys are angry at Microsoft because it's $200 something. If Sony comes out with any version of that, it's going to be the same price. They may cut the price down.
Sony haven't came out with anything.
Yeah,
they're not being transparent in what
they're going to have to.
And so they still haven't said anything. And what's the crazy part is that if anybody who pre-ordered PlayStation 5 would know is that it's not a 1 terabyte system. I think it comes with I think it's just a little bit over 800 gigs, and then you got to take off 100, 120, 150, depending on what the system needs. You really only have free space that you could play with as in games. So you only maybe could do 3 and maybe 4 and stuff, and that's really pushing it
too. Right, and also the traditional
really pushing it.
When you first buy the console, the moment you plug it up, you're going to have a patch update, and I don't know how much of that going to be. It's going to be same with Call of Duty, and that's just system update. We're not even talking about the video games. And then once you buy Call of Duty, any Call of Duty I bought, it needs to be updated right then and there. So you might as well.
And what's good about Xbox? I understand it's $220 for that, but you still could use your external hard drive plugged up, even though you can't play Xbox Series X games on the external hard drive. You have to transfer it back over to the SSD and stuff like that. So that's one option to do that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to.
It's not gonna be just Microsoft. Sony has to come out with one because people are not gonna want to transfer a game from one area to the other just so they can play it for the speeds that they want. Because for people that doesn't understand SSDs, hard drives, and hybrid drives and all that stuff, they're going to be upset with the manufacturers of, oh my god, I put it on here and it's loading slow. I thought this was supposed to be fast, and it's gonna be hurtful. So they have to come out with some sort of memory card or external hard drive to plug in, or release bigger hard drives to go in there internally, like you can do with your consoles now. Maybe they'll have a 2 terabyte SSD version, but you're going to pay at least $300-400 for it, because a 1 terabyte is already $2. So, but to get the extra terabyte, they may be able to do something in the background, use different materials to cut the price lower, and then see what their competitors are. And once they see what the competitors are, they'll cut the price lower, and somebody's going to have the best price. But either way it go, if you want the same speeds, and if Sony comes out with theirs, or if you buy the Microsoft one, you're going to be going over $200. Now, one of them may come out and hit you with a 170, 180, but you're going to be paying a lot of money for these.
Yeah.
You might as well just say memory cards.
Yeah. So, yeah. You're going to be spending some money. I'm more than likely. I know I'm going to get that SSD expansion.
You have to, especially with Game Pass.
Yeah. No, you're right about it. So what I did was I'm going to PlayStation 5. I got the camera, the web camera. I want to try that out. And then also too, I got a extra, and I got the headphones. I wanted to try out those the headphones because it's supposed to have that Tempest audio, the home theater audio for the games.
Yeah.
So that's going to be that's what I'm really looking for. For the Xbox, I only bought an extra controller, the blue one, and then I'm probably going, and then more likely
I am going to get that one. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab that today.
Yeah, and then
I forgot all about that.
And then the SSD I'm going to get, and then as a headphone, which I love Microsoft for doing, Astro, the wireless headphones that you see me with right now, and they came up with a firmware update. Astros came out with a firmware update that is going to be compatible, that is going to work with the Xbox Series X. So the only thing I need to do is plug in my USB cord that is on my docking station on my Astros and plug that to my Xbox Series X, and I'm good to go. But the PlayStation 5,
is it the same with the PlayStation or no?
No, you have to buy an adapter with it. So that's why I just ended up just getting the PlayStation headphones and stuff, just to try it out and stuff. I think the adapter is like $50, $50 or $60, and then the PlayStation. Yeah, and the PlayStation headset is kind of like it's $90. I think it's it's $99. So I was like, let me just try that because I really want to try it just to see how it is. So yeah, those are the accessories that I bought. Yeah, I'm really looking forward, and I want to see how their webcam looks too. Yeah, because it's supposed to show 1080p 60. So I'm going to try streaming on that camera and see how it looks.
I want to see if they actually allow that to be used for software like OBS. I've been talking about this the whole time with these new consoles. I hope they have some sort of form of chat, which I hope they lean towards Discord on the new consoles. And secondly, I hope that they have some sort of integration with either Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio to where you can do professional streaming from your console instead of just launching it from the console where you can't do anything but just a camera and the video game. So I'm hope if the PlayStation does that with that camera, that's going to be awesome. If you can plug that to a computer, because if you can plug that USB to a computer and plug a capture card up to your PlayStation, then you're golden. Especially if you bought that as a bundle, that's like a deal. That's like, especially compared to what you paid for your Brio. So I just think that's going to be good. If it does that, I'm sold on that. I didn't even think about that until now.
So I'm looking forward to that. So those, I pre-ordered a lot of stuff, but I'm going to be doing an unboxing.
Yep.
Just do a reveal and an actual review on it. So stay tuned for that.
We're both actually going to be doing unboxings. Depending on what happens launch day, if folks are going to get their systems in time or not. I guess depending on the situation, because there's a lot of stuff that they're saying in the background about what's going to happen launch day. I just feel like I order mine online. I don't see why it should be so hard. If you're going to have those problems, ship mine early. That's just how I look at it.
Yeah.
Just ship it a day or two early, and just tell me don't play it until the next 2 days, or don't unpack it, don't do this, don't do that. But I will be doing a live unboxing like you see now on stream of the consoles when they come to my house. I haven't set up a thumbnail or try to promote it yet because I don't know what's going to happen. So hopefully
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll just put the warning out that I want to do it. Maybe I'll make a thumbnail for it, but I'm not going to put a date on it. Maybe I'll just say whenever it comes in, or hopefully launch day or something like that. But also I'm doing another retro streaming event. No, you're good. I'm doing another retro streaming event. So I did polls, and folks have picked the 64, and my second poll, the game that everybody picked was 007. So the idea now is I know. So the idea now is to work with a few people to see if I could do multiplayer on there. And I have a program that allows us to play multiplayer without us being in the same house. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I have my next multi-video stream coming up where I have a couple of my friends on video as we're playing the game. So you'll see four feeds of us conversating together and just playing the game together. And I'm trying to be different from a lot of streamers too at the same time. So make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Max is going to do his unboxing, of course. What else are you doing?
Yeah. Yes. Oh God. So we didn't even bring this topic up. So my next video that I'm about to come out, I'm going to do another demo on Samsung G7. That video that came out this week, I wasn't really happy with because I was capturing it on my iPhone. It didn't really show a good performance on the G7, and I'm raving how great this monitor is. So I'm going to do another video and send it out to people who was asking questions about that. So I'm going to do another video on camera. I got a Sony ZV-1. So I'm going to capture that and use that phone to do, use that camera to record that just to give a better depiction. And then also too, so the Apple came out with a update their 14.0 update, and they did an update on the Apple AirPods Pro. So I'm going to be doing a review with that because they came out with a spatial audio, and with the spatial, if you're looking at a movie or listening to music, if you turn your head around left or right, it's supposed to give you that whole full surround sound effect. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a review on that. So far, I did a little demo on. I was watching like Aquaman on my phone, and I can just tell you this: it is a world of difference. I was literally like turning my head this way down, and it's like you could just hear the person. If you looking at your phone and you see Jason Momoa like talking to you going forward, but if you turn around, Jason Momoa is like right here, and you just like bouncing sound from the side, and it's like you hear it's like night and day and stuff. So I'm going to do a review on that and stuff. But besides that, I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to do the review. I'm going to stream a couple games too on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and stuff. And yeah. So I got a lot of content
too. Yeah, definitely. I know you got a lot to. I'm looking forward to. I always love Max videos. He's doing his thing. So make sure you check him out on Max Chambliss on YouTube. I forgot to mention too, I am going to start a vlog. That's my next project too as well. So you'll get to see me do things live with all the streaming and the tech stuff I do. And I'm also working on my merch store. So stay tuned for that. It's called Pixels by Moandogg Gaming. So I'm creating my own designs. I'm trying to be creative, throwing them on t-shirts and coffee mugs. I even got phone cases. I have mouse pads. I have extra large mouse pads, hoodies, tank tops. what's the other one? It's one I'm missing. Oh, and Kiss stickers. So you have so whatever sticker of design that you want, I can put it on there and you can have it. And then if you guys want something in particular, shoot me over a message or something in my comments or whatever. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, and tell me what you guys would like to see on some of the merch that I'm getting ready to open up. So just stay tuned for that as well. So but I guess before we end this, I do want to say Radeon press conference event is coming out this week.
Yeah,
in 2 days.
Oh
so
man,
we're excited, and that's gonna
this hour went by real.
Yeah, we're excited. That's gonna make me and Max make a decision on what graphics card we're gonna get. As far as building us a new system. So I was kind of down it at first in our beginning episodes, but some of the reviews that I've been looking at and some of the stuff that leaked, it's looking promising. And hopefully, if they can
6000 series, series CPU.
So if they can give the same performance or equal performance of the 2080 at a lower cost, I am sold across. I'm sorry, 30. I keep doing that. 3080 across the board. I'm hands down going with a full AMD system, and this would be my first time I purchase an AMD CPU because all the builds I have is Intel. So I'm ready to get out of the Intel ecosystem. I'm done with them. I'm just ready for AMD. So we look forward to that. Look forward to us posting. Me and Max got a group on Facebook where I post a lot of gaming news and tech news. It's called Community Replay. We have our Discord where we post a lot of stuff. You'll see it in my description if you're on my page. And I mean, it's a lot of content that we have, and we're going to be talking about it a lot. So you guys stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Yep. So that's all we have for today. Like I said, we could talk forever because at first we didn't have no time. It's so much that I want. Yeah, we don't have. Yeah, just have a comment. If you have a comment, just like you post on my YouTube. Same thing for Mo on his Facebook and stuff. Subscribe to our channels. Give us a like. Give us any feedback, or even give us any topics. It's kind of like we at first. Before we even started the podcast, we were just trying to come up with topics to talk about.
I know.
I had I wanted to talk about the Xbox Series X. Shoot. People are complaining that it's hot and stuff is running hot, and then I wanted to talk about Apple coming out with the new iPhone. But it's just like we really didn't have the time to really talk about all that stuff.
You was funny you say that. I got 7 tabs open about things we were going to talk about, and we didn't touch not one of them.
So let us know. I mean. Shoot, we probably might have to do another session of a podcast and just make a suggestion and stuff like that.
I forgot too. We're going to be guest starring on another podcast on the 14th. Stubbs Gaming. So we'll get you guys the information once we link up with him more. So he invited us. They're people from UK, and they found us and they want us to be a part of their show. So we're excited for that one. They got a much larger base than us, so it'll give us an opportunity to grab not their fan base, but grab extra people that come and check our content out, put us out there some more, and just have fun with this stuff. We're trying to do it.
And then even with the if y'all interested, maybe in the future podcast, one can drop on and ask a question or something like that. Do something different and stuff. So but we appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, see you on the next one.
Yep. See you guys.